Welcome back to the show. We are in the new school year. I mean, I can't believe the summer is pretty much gone. And to me, it's always a time of new beginnings, new school supplies, new clothes, learning new things, meeting new people. To me, really, the start of school is more the time of refresh and renew, even more than New Year's, when we make all our resolutions and all that. But it's a good time as well to kind of think about getting more organized. And who better to have come on the show than Jennifer Snyder, who is a professional organizer and the owner, creator of Neat as a Pin.
Yes, ma'am.
And Jennifer, it's so good to have you.
Thank you.
Do you sense that or is it just me, about the fall being kind of new beginnings? Would you think spring would be new? But for me, it's the fall.
I think it's different. In spring, the new beginnings is, the trees and nature outside, where I feel like the fall is almost new beginnings in the home.
Yeah.
Where kids have been home for the summer, routines are out of whack, and then kids go to school and everything can just kind of settle back into this rhythm that is comforting. And as soon as you get your feet underneath you from that, it's time to rev up for the holidays.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is just a time of just renewal and redirection.
Just kind of hit the reset button. And we're also heading into the time of the year. It doesn't feel like it right now, but it's going to start getting cooler. We're going to be inside more. We're going to be looking around going, oh my gosh, what do I need to do in this room?
Once you're in like when you're in the house and you start noticing things, as you go through, what I found that happens is I'm in the middle of doing something and I see something that needs to be done. And it's like, ooh, there's that. Now, the ADHD in me can run over here and abandon what I started doing and go over here and do something about it. But that isn't always efficient. And so when you are preparing to be in your home for some time, even over the winter, I like to send myself a text message.
Do you really?
I do. And so I almost always have my phone on me, and I created a contact that's myself, MYSELF, so that I can tell my phone to send myself a text message, and she'll say, "What would you like to say?" and I just say, "There's this thing over here. Don't forget it." And then when I get to where I can, I'll turn that text message into an email to myself. If I can't do it right away, if it's a big project or it'll take two people or just take some time, I'll send myself an email so I have it in my email as a reminder. And I manage my email ruthlessly, but I want that email to go away, and so I'm going to do it. And so it's about not necessarily jumping over into another lane to get it done quickly, but it's about more about understanding your brain and how your brain works and what you need as a reminder to do the things. And there's times when we look at things and we're like, oh, I can't do that perfectly right now, or I can't do it perfectly this weekend, so I'm just not going to do it at all. And that's when things get out of control and we just get so overwhelmed that we don't even know what to do anymore.
Well, you say that there's you work to help people overcome the overwhelm.
Absolutely.
Why is it that when there's a lot of clutter or just chaos, it is such a stressor, an anxiety producer?
It is, and there's several layers to that. On the surface, it's all the colors and shapes and textures, and it's just everywhere. And so when we see things over and over and over, we see them less. And the messes that we have in our homes, we don't see them nearly as clearly as someone who's just coming in. And so we know we need to do something, but we don't see it anymore. So there's no reminder, and you would have, and that's why I think I've told you before, if you stand on a chair and look at a room, you're going to see what needs to be done. Or if
really?
Absolutely. Huh. Just because you've got a totally different...
Your vantage point is different.
You've got a totally different perspective. Or like, I know that putting up my Christmas tree, I always see so many things on the floor that aren't done or that are lost under furniture because I'm down there putting the tree skirt. And so I'm just at a totally different vantage point. Yeah. And that's how you can see what needs to be done by just looking at it differently. And so there's that piece of it, but also every single thing that we own means something to us. It may not be sweet. It may not be, warm and fuzzy. It may just be, here's some Pine Sol. I bought it because I like the smell of it. Or here's some Pine Sol. I bought it. I don't like the smell of it. And then, and so for each of these things, we have some feelings, and the feelings can vary, but then we've got all of these feelings with all of our things. And then we've got our kids' things and our spouses' things.
Oh, gosh.
And it just, and so it just goes on. And so it is so big. And we're in such a fast-paced world that we don't have the luxury of the time to sit and say, okay, here is this thing, even the Pine Sol. Here's the Pine Sol. I don't like the smell of it. I want to make it go away. I want to be a good steward of my money. Right. Can I pour it down the sink? Can I pour it in?
That seems wasteful.
It seems wasteful. And then I need to recycle it. Who can I give it to? I don't know anybody to give it to. So I'm going to set it right here until I find somebody to give it to.
There it sits.
And there it sits. And the longer it sits there, the less you see it.
Oh, gosh.
And so it's, if you give a mouse a cookie, it's just one thing after another. Yeah, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that way. Mm-hmm. And if you were to create a routine, just a piece of even your routine cleaning schedule, if just look at the surfaces, intentionally look at the surfaces. Mm-hmm. Well, today I'm going to look at the surfaces in the bathrooms, or today I'm going to look at the surfaces in the kitchen. Today I'm going to look at all the bedroom surfaces. And if you just put that piece of it into what you do, and then once you've got the habit of the surfaces, then you move on to something else. And our drawers, our clothes, our closets, in Texas we have a season and a half, and but there is a distinct season. And so when you do that, that's a great time to go through your drawers and get rid of the things that don't fit. And with our kids, back to school time is the perfect time to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, donation sites, there are great places to send your unneeded items. My guilty pleasure is watching hoarders. And my husband hates it. He just can't believe that I watch that. But I think what fascinates me about it, of course, I watch an episode and immediately want to go clean a drawer.
Absolutely.
Out,
Yeah.
I don't go clean the drawer. I want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a whole nother thing. But I'm fascinated with the mental trauma that sparks something as extreme as that. I presume you've worked with folks that...
Yes. And as I told you, I'm trying to educate the public service caseworkers and the people who work with individuals.
Like even first responders.
Absolutely.
Places, yeah.
Absolutely. Because what the TV show shows us is not the whole experience, and it is a mental health condition.
Oh, yeah.
And so many people, or even if it's a family member, just clean this up, and so it becomes this cycle of just negativity, and it doesn't help. And so people, those with hoarding disorder, it's inside. They've got it early, and the researchers are trying to figure out how to find it earlier. And as we age, it gets worse because we've got the cognitive decline and we have the physical limitations. And then,
sense of smell goes. I mean, some of the episodes you're like, how can anybody live in this? Because you can tell by the reaction of people coming in that they're gagging. But like you say, you become desensitized.
That's right.
And
you don't smell
You don't
smell your own house. And I hope my house smells like Tyler Candle Company Diva, but I don't know because
that's a good one.
I don't smell it.
Yeah.
And so, I've known people who would ask, what does my house smell like? Because we just don't smell. And they don't. They don't. We cleaned up a house one time and they wanted us to shampoo the carpet. We had a carpet shampooer, not with Nidazepam. And we shampooed the carpet and it was, it didn't smell good to begin with. But once that carpet was wet,
oh, wow.
I had...
Especially if there have been animals.
Yes, and there were.
Whoa.
And I had to go outside. Like, rarely have I had to excuse myself in one of those situations. And so I'm like, I'm going to go outside for a few minutes. And the gentleman lived there, he was like, it smells so fresh.
Oh, gosh.
But we don't. We don't smell it. We don't smell it. And...
Well, and so often, in watching those shows, there is a psychologist who deals with that kind of thing. But often the professional organizer who's come in and actually to try to do the work, to clean out the garbage, to do all that, they're called on for mental health,
Yep.
expertise and how to talk to somebody and how to. So how did you learn? You're a professional, certified professional organizer. Where do you go to learn to do that?
Well, I take classes at the Institute for Challenging Disorganization, and we've talked about my other company, Discreet Clean, where we do the biohazard cleaning.
Right.
And in recognizing that so many people confuse squalor for hoarding, and they're different, and so then it's like I need to educate, and so I have done extensive research. I just this month I went to the OCD conference in Chicago to learn, just learn more about it. Hear the researchers share the latest research on hoarding disorder, and just being able to address it. And I'm not a mental health professional, but they have to be involved.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not, I can be compassionate, and I can be kind, and I can help. I can help with the physical, but that someone else, a trained mental health professional, they need to work with their heart. And if anyone is going to get help for that, those two need to work together. Those two need to work together.
And it's long term. It's not going to happen during the course of, we've got to get this house cleaned up.
2 days,
or
like on the
they're
show.
going to foreclose and,
2 days.
kick you out.
2 days isn't a solution.
No.
And, and even on the show, if you watch at the end, they've all gone back. Rarely does a 2-day cleanup just instantly fix things. And to be totally honest, rapid cleanups are the worst thing you can do for someone who hoards. And
because then that's like scraping off the scab. I mean,
Right.
it's painful. It's horrible. There's all these histrionics that happen. And
Right.
anyway,
that's it. Yeah. So what you've done is you've taken someone who's coping, not necessarily in a healthy way,
Right.
but you're taking someone who's coping, and you are traumatizing them in a whole new way. And so they're going to jump right back to how they were coping before, and quite possibly worse.
Yeah.
And so it's a thing. And so
It's fascinating. Though. I mean, I do find it fascinating. But for the rest of us who are just kind of maybe clutter, I mean,
clutter
there's
bugs.
And you mentioned, you've got a couple, maybe one part of the couple is much better off with the clutter. It doesn't bother them that much. And the other's like, this is making me crazy. So how do you kind of counsel in those situations?
Well, it's, consider mediation. It was our clutter.
Because particularly it's my stuff that's cluttering everything up.
Exactly. And, when we enter into a relationship with someone, whether it's a roommate or a spouse or even with children, we all have a different level of clutter tolerance. And that comes from a whole variety of things. Most of it is, most is temperament. And then there's our family of origin, how our families lived. And we bring that together. And, my husband and I have joked for years that we're Jesse James married to Mary Poppins. and our clutter tolerance is very different. And so I recommend to everyone, if you and your spouse have a clutter differential, then come to an agreement on the shared spaces. On the shared spaces, then those are in the middle. And no one has to acquiesce 100% to the other. And then each person has at least one space that is theirs, and they can keep it however they want. And the same is true with our children. Not when they're 8 necessarily, but when they get to be about 15 or 16, they know how they want their space. They know what feels good. And it doesn't mean that they're going to live that way forever. My oldest son is living proof of that. But give them the opportunity to, if I, as a mother, clean his room all the time, or I have 3 sons. If, as his mother, I clean all the time for them, I'm not teaching them anything.
No.
And 2, they don't have an opportunity to experience the discomfort of not having it picked up. And I have a 17-year-old son at home. and his room was just atrocious. It was, and clothes all over the floor. And then we watched an episode of Hoarding, and he says, "Mom, I see what you have been seeing in my room." And he went and he cleaned it all up. And had I not given him that opportunity, as soon as he's out of my purview and outside of my home, it's going to be a mess. He's not going to know what to do. And so it took a minute that was uncomfortable for me, but he figured it out. And sometimes, that's a hard lesson for a mom to have, because we want our homes the way we want our homes.
Right. And it's just easier to do it.
It's easier to do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
There is so much more about organizational things that we need to talk about.
Okay.
So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have more with Jennifer Snyder of Neat as a Pin. You stay with us.
This is the Sonos Arc Ultra, and this is what you need to know about. It represents one of the easiest ways to get into high quality home cinema without loads of cables and faffing around. And that's because the Arc Ultra provides full Dolby Atmos without any rear speakers thanks to its sound motion technology. And Sonos is actually calling sound motion one of the most significant breakthroughs in audio engineering in nearly 100 years. It's an amazing setup, it sounds absolutely fantastic. I love the absence of fat. If you're a Sonos person, there's a reason you're watching this video.
Jennifer Snyder always has good ideas on how to organize your life. We are grateful for her. Stick around. We've got more of the show ahead, including Act Locally News with Elizabeth Riley.
Smoke Pub was created by a group of friends who share a passion for great whiskey and cocktails. Frustrated by the lack of easy-to-use cocktail smokers, we set out to design something better. Our goal was simple: make smoking cocktails quick, clean, and fun. After countless experiments, we developed Smoke Pub, the world's first electric cocktail smoker. Join us on this exciting journey and discover the magic of Smoke Pub, where unforgettable cocktails begin.
I just got my Colgate Advanced LED Whitening Treatment in the mail, and I am very excited to have dramatically whiter teeth in just 10 days. My teeth are going to be 6 shades whiter. The treatment is enamel safe and hassle-free. It's even designed for my sensitive teeth. Let's open it up. Inside we have the blue light whitening device. It's a charger for after each treatment as well. There's a full 10-day supply, and it looks easy to apply. Order yours today at shop.colgate.com.
Hey mister, how you doing? It's been a while since I seen you way back when. How's your family? How's your baby? How's that new job that you got now? I don't know where time went wrong, but I know that it's been hard. I miss those late nights, smoking and drinking and reminiscing about the old times. That's what we used to do when there was nothing else to do. as well shoot the lights out tonight. How about we don't? 'Cause that's not who I am. I'm gonna start living a better life, living a better life. I heard you moved out of town to chase your biggest dream. How's that city life? Is it what you thought it would be? Let's go and have a beer or two. Might as well shoot the lights out tonight. I think we don't, 'cause that's not who I am. I'm gonna start living a better life, living a better life.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Pill, pour, blend, and enjoy. All within the comfort of my own home.
Revive Superfood Smoothies. Peel, blend, and enjoy. Fast and easy, and I'm out the door.
Hi, my name's Erica and today I'm going to be taking you through my skincare routine using the Tasmanian Spring Water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself. It's packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid and fermented sea kelp to reduce redness and irritation, which I experience daily. So that's it. It's so quick and so easy, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
And we're back with Jennifer Snyder, certified professional organizer, who is the creator of Neat as a Pin. I mean, you've got employees. I mean, this is, and you also have another business you mentioned,
Discreet Clean, yes.
Discreet Clean, and that can involve.
That's a specialty cleaning. That's the biohazard.
Okay.
That's the things that the Neat as a Pin team cannot clean. You know, blood. Just
right. I mean, that's a whole nother skill set.
Absolutely.
And so you do that as well. We were talking about school starting. You know, for a lot of folks, maybe they have an empty nest. Oh, what do you do with that extra bedroom? Do you leave it like a shrine for when Sonny comes home from college? Do you go, oh man, my sewing craft room suddenly has appeared? You know, what do you counsel with folks finding themselves in this stage of life?
You know, I help them figure out what to do. And a lot of anybody, they know what to do. It's they just need someone to give them permission.
Yeah.
And you know, and two, as a mother, you know, I understand a mother's heart, and I know that nowhere in any of the What to Expect books that I read did it tell me what my heart was going to feel like when my little chickies fly the nest. I was devastated and just blindsided. And so whether you're blindsided and just dying and your heart is breaking, or you're like, whew, thought that was never going to happen. Either way, allow your heart a chance to heal. Don't, get where you need to be as far as peace with the fact that they've gone. And once you do that, then you just have to ask yourself, do I really want them back? Because if you don't, then turn their room into something else. But if you do, then leave it there for them. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll leave it there for them because we think they're going to come home. And I would imagine if you have a kid that went to college and they don't have a home, they're living in a dorm, yeah, keep their room.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
But
Because that's a season.
that's a season and they need a home base. But when they're paying their own rent or they're married, by keeping a shrine in your home, you are essentially a storage unit.
Right.
That's all that it is. And
And that's an expensive
that's an
storage
expensive
unit.
storage unit. When and think about the square footage and how much you're paying to house that, to heat it and cool it and insure it. And too, most of the time they don't even want that stuff.
Well, there's that. So when it comes to sentimental things, how do you kind of move on with, I'm the worst. That's why I wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah. So sentimental things, it's not so much the things that matter as what they represent. And when we have a thing, we're guaranteed not to forget, right? And so thinking, we may have talked about this before. I have my papa, my grandfather's cowboy hat. It was his felt hat. It was so special. It was, he wore it in all the like fancy pictures and of all of his grandchildren, I'm the only one that has it. And it's a cowboy hat. And his head was so small that none of my people could wear it, even if they
It's
wanted
not like
to.
somebody could.
Yeah, we can't use
reuse
it. And so it just hangs in the closet and collects dust. And so what happens is we hold on to these things so tightly, but we also don't take good care of them. And so they'll just pile up because we're continuing to live our lives and we're continuing to experience things that we want to remember. And it just piles and piles and piles. And all of a sudden, our entire home is nothing more than a shrine to other people or the past. And we can't live our forward life because we've got so much of the past dragging us down. And so what I suggest is commemorate them another way. I don't have to have the cowboy hat to remember my pawpaw.
Of course not.
And so that's kind of easy. And, giving it to a cousin who might wear it is, on special occasions in the family portraits and that sort of thing.
If it fits.
that is more of an honor.
Yes.
Than keeping it in my closet and letting it rot on a peg. And when we do that, we release ourselves too. But the stories behind it are what really matter. And if we can capture and somehow collect the stories and save those, then you don't need so much stuff. And my favorite thing to do is to just take pictures. Take pictures of them. And even so, I don't need the hat. I can take a picture of my pawpaw in his hat.
Yeah.
And say, look, Papa always wore his hat. And I remember this and I remember that. And document that. You can make a photo book of those memories. And what you then have is a book instead of a box of stuff in the attic that you don't even look at. And
it's rotting.
And it's really rotting.
And if it does come to the point of somebody trying to use it, it just falls apart.
That's right.
Found that out about shoes. My aunt had some beautiful shoes. Beautiful shoes. But after 20, 30 years, you put them on and the rubber tips on the heels, everything just cracks and falls away. It just, nothing is meant to last
forever. Nothing is meant to last forever. And and you doing yourself a favor, especially if you have older children. You know, honestly, the most loving thing you can ever do for your children is to get rid of all your stuff.
That can be hard, though.
It can be hard.
I did do that with my boys because having 3 sons, we both had the boys. Of course, I was going to be Mother Earth. When the first one came along, we were not going to have guns, you know. We were going to, you know. Well, he took bristle bears and made them into a gun.
Oh, yeah?
You know, boom, pow, pow, pow. So fast forward a few years, 3 boys. It was like an arsenal, a cache of weapons that we had. And I said, okay, pick your 3 favorite weapons, you know, and then we boxed it up and it went to Goodwill.
You know, and that's a really good point, is when we're looking at something, regardless of what it is. Compact discs is a really good example.
Oh gosh, yes, I know.
We don't need them.
I know.
VHS tapes, we really don't need them.
Don't want to throw them away
because of what they represent.
Yeah.
And so let's say we've got these compact discs. You know, most people have hundreds.
You can go online and, you know, Amazon Music and find it.
Yes. You know, or I've got an Apple One subscription, and I can get all the songs I want.
Yeah.
And I can listen to them for a little bit, and then I can let them go away and get some more.
Yeah.
But we've got these, and we're looking at them, and it's like we see it as a whole unit. And
right.
If you were to look at it as, what are my 5 favorites? What are the 5 CDs that I will come back to? I'm guaranteed to come back to at some other point in my life. Those are the ones you keep. And so if we flip the script, and instead of saying, here's my CDs, what am I going to get rid of? Because that's got a negative connotation. There's lack. It's something that's going away.
It's going to hurt me to get rid of it.
But if I say, what do I want to keep? You're putting positive energy into the process. And if you go through and like, you don't find 5 that you think you're going to listen to, oh, sweet. And I'm down to 3. And then sometimes it might, you know what, I don't even need any of them. And so when it's what is going to go away, we're going to hang on for dear life. You can take it out of my lifeless hands kind of thing. But when it's, what do I want? What do you want?
Yeah.
And that's a question. What do you want? What do you want your life to be? What do you want your home to feel like? And once you can articulate that, then every decision you make about your home and about your home stuff should be in alignment with that goal.
Yeah, of course, I think Marie Kondo, who was a thing a few years ago, where you thank it for its service to you and say goodbye. Well, another foreign country, Sweden. Okay, let's talk about a Swedish death clean. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, that's funny. It's
Swedish death clean is funny.
It's funny. It's strange. That was me being nice. It's not for me. You know,
really?
I really don't have a lot to say.
Okay,
you know,
well, I mean, we've never talked about it.
No, we haven't.
I do have a friend
to each their own, really.
who knew that was coming, and she did. I mean, we never called it that, but she culled her closet like radically, and the pieces she kept were exquisite and perfect, and everything went together. But I thought, oh wow, could I ever? I need to do that. I mean,
you know, and that's
but it in essence it was kind of preparing so somebody else was not going to have to.
That's right, and that's
do that.
the same thing with getting rid of everything, all your stuff before your kids have to go through it.
Yeah.
And you know, my dad, I tell him all the time, and you know, part of it is I really don't want to mess with all that, but on the other hand, I'd like to spend that time with him. You know, he has a shop, and he's like, Dad, let's go through your shop so I know what this stuff is,
right?
So that
what's important to you,
so that you know, if you know, he has classic cars. You know, what if I throw something away that belongs to the Packard or?
Oh yeah,
and so you've got to tell me,
right.
and so he won't. But you know, there's
it's kind of like some people don't want to do a will because that's their mortality, right?
It's an acknowledgement, and you know, but that's what we need to do. And I hear a lot of people that, you know, they're in their 60s, 70s, like that's my kid's problem, and you know, and I just see so many grown children after the loss of a parent, they hurt so badly. And
well, because they have a house full of stuff. They don't need to keep all of mom's stuff.
That's right. That's right. And they're, they're grieving. They're grieving. And so they're not going to make good decisions,
No.
especially if they have to hurry and get out of a house because of rent or utilities. Life moves on.
Yeah.
And so then what they do is they pack it all up and put it in their garage.
Yeah. Or they rent a storage unit and are paying $150 every month.
Exactly. And if it's not a nice one, then it's rotting in the heat.
It's not right. It's not going to.
It's hard. It's hard. And I think a lot of time, just like the What to Expect books don't tell you what to feel, what you're going to feel when your kids leave. Nobody's really talking about what we need to do, our end of life, what we need to do with our stuff and how to care for those that are left behind. And that's, I think it's a conversation that somebody needs to start.
Yes, it is. It's a part of life. And, living with the changes that are going to come, they're inevitable without letting all the stuff. And we just have so much stuff.
30,000. Every person has an average of 30,000 things between the ages of 1 year and 100 years. We just have so much stuff. Some of them are small, 2 earrings. We don't necessarily think about it.
that many earrings.
Yeah. Sure. Look at earrings and shoes and socks, and there you got a big number already.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that. Yeah. Organizing the jewelry box.
Yeah.
Just costume stuff. And again, I find things that I wore in the 80s that, big chunky kind of stuff. But it's like, oh, I remember wearing.
See? And so.
But nobody wants it. And I'm not going to wear it again. It's a clip-on.
Right.
But still.
But it's that decision.
There.
It's the decision. It's the decision. And so think about all of the decisions that we make in a day. Everything from where we're going to turn to go to work or what we're going to wear. And we are, as a humanity, we have so many decisions, and we're just living in decision fatigue. And what to do with the earrings is just too much. It's just too much. And so that's what is happening when you're like, oh, look at these. I remember wearing these. And you put them right back into the jewelry box.
Well, what I've done, I've got boxes of stuff. And of course, I've inherited lots of costume jewelry from relatives. And I have 3 granddaughters that they know where those boxes are. They pull them out. And every once in a while, they go, oh, I remember those. Or my mother used to wear those earrings or things so that fun. And they play with them. That's and of course, in time, they're not going to want to do that anymore. But we still are at a stage now with the granddaughters of dragging out all the stuff.
And that's special for
fun.
them.
Yeah.
That's, I remember playing with my great-grandmother's jar of buttons. And
oh, yeah.
But it's
right. Who has those anymore?
Right. But this is something that was yours, that was your mother's, and it's not an iPad. And it just really matters. My mother-in-law sent home a box of my husband's things the other day, and there were these cars, and I have a 3-year-old grandson, and and instead of him saying, "Oh, my cars," he said, "Oh, hey, here, Lynx. Look at these. These were mine when I was a little boy." And and it was fun, and it's so much more fun to share those things that we have that are that hold something in our hearts.
Yeah,
it's way more fun to share those, whether it's with little kids or big kids or adults who just need something.
Yeah. And finding people who repurpose stuff like that. There was a time where people were doing Christmas decorations using old costume jewelry and making trees and there's people are way cleverer than I am to come up with ways to repurpose
those trees
stuff.
Are beautiful.
So you're a great resource for folks who want to, they don't want to just put it in the trash.
Right.
You'd like someone else to enjoy this in some way, shape, or form.
To be intentional.
But you'd hate to think, oh, it's just going to go into a hoarder's house.
And then there's that.
I know, and then there's that, because they go to the thrift stores or whatever. And
however, once something that belongs to you leaves your care, custody, and control, you have no say in what happens to it from there. You can make the best decision that you can in getting it out of your space, but from there, it's got a life of its own, and it's served its purpose in your home, and just let it go. And the same, the same goes for things coming into your home. If you get a gift, once you say thank you, your obligation to the giver has ended.
That often is an issue. It's like, oh, I feel like I need to get, because what if she comes over and she realizes I don't have this artificial flower arrangement? That, you know.
I've got 2 words for you. Things break.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
They
yeah,
break.
that just fell over. And
So do ugly margarita glasses and clocks and picture frames. Yeah. And so there is that. And so when something is given to you as a gift and with an expectation for you to keep it forever, that is very heavy. That's very heavy.
right. Yeah, that's unfair to do that for anybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a little bit more about you. What kind of led you into this type work?
You know,
Did you sort of accidentally find it?
it found me, really.
Oh, it found you? Okay.
I was a wedding planner. And then I was trying to connect with a woman. She owns a business. She wanted me to do her Thanksgiving feast at her house. And so we just couldn't connect. And when we finally did, she said, "Oh, I'm just so overwhelmed and all of this." And it's like, as a wedding planner, everything happened on the weekends. It's like,
Sure.
I've got time during the day. If you need some help, I can do that. And she showed me her home office, and I just love the story. And she cried. She's like, "Can you fix this?" I'm like, "Sure," with one hand tied behind my back. And so I did. And when I went back and I showed it to her when I was finished and gave her the tour, and this is how it works, and she just wept. She experienced so much relief. And I went home and I told my husband, like, that was the hardest work that I have ever done, but the most rewarding. My heart is so full. And he says, "You're not going to like make a business with the website or anything, are you?" Next day, don't tell me I can't do something. and then it was born. And
Yeah.
When God speaks, you have to listen. And he was telling me to get out of weddings, and this was my thing.
Yeah.
And so with just blessed every step of the way. And and I just care so deeply for people. And
Because it does change their lives.
It does.
If you can remove stress, we've talked about how it just adds a layer of angst that you don't even realize you're experiencing.
Right. And two, if somebody's messy, imagine what everybody in their life is saying to them. Clean that up. There's something wrong with you. What is wrong with you?
Oh.
And
how can you stand this?
how can you live like this?
Right.
And that's people, individual neurodivergent, ADHD. I mean, it's not just people who hoard. And so then our belongings carry this negative weight. And then when the world, or our world, their world, is all on you, there's something wrong with you, and then you have someone like me come in and say, "Sugar, I see you, and I see this, and you are more than this mess. You are more than this mess." And just having the opportunity to be seen in that way as a human with feelings and struggles, and to have an ally, that there's power in that.
And if there's something deeper, maybe finding some resolution to that.
Right.
As well. Yeah, people shouldn't have to live like that. Well, this is this is awesome.
No tips, but
No, lots of texting myself.
Oh, yeah.
That's a life hack. That's
There you
really
go.
That's
There
a
you
good
go.
one. Yeah, these phones are good for more than just taking pictures and talking on. But yeah, that's so much. So folks can reach you how?
neatasapen.com. You can get me directly through there.
And kind of jobs and everything from redo a closet to
Packing a suitcase.
which is the last time I got to talk with you. You helped me pack for our cruise,
Your cruise,
our
yeah.
river cruise in Germany. It was so great.
Oh,
It was so
good.
great. Very specific, but you said, "I love to pack." I went,
I do.
"Oh, awesome."
I do. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And I'll, every so often I'll make a video of like, okay, here I am putting it all in there together. One of those really fast ones. And it's like, how many packing videos can I actually make and post? And so I've stopped doing it, but packing is so fun. We pack for moves.
Right.
And
Oh,
unpack.
that's a big thing.
And unpack, yeah. So, if you get transferred here for a job and you have to work, you land, you work, we can get your house all set up.
That is wonderful. Wonderful. And you've got some wonderful people working with you. And yeah.
I have a great group of women.
Yeah. Yeah. Passionate about helping people.
Yes.
As you say, overcome the overwhelm, because we don't need to live like that.
We don't. We deserve to be our authentic selves without being weighed down with all of our stuff.
Yeah.
Or what we think we're supposed to do with them.
Amen. Amen. Well, it's awesome. You need to come back. 'Cause
Anytime.
I'm sure there's lots more that we can talk
Anytime. I
about
love
when
it.
it comes to this. And I appreciate you so much. Thanks.
You bet. Thank you.
Jennifer. Jennifer Snyder, neat as a pin. Stay with us. We have more of the show ahead.
When you view the glass half full, the little things become magical. Like kicking back and sharing laughs, spread good vibes, and they'll come back. Celebrate what you love with what you wear, even if what you love is kind of weird. Life is good in super soft tees that spark smiles and connectivity. 10% of profits go to help kids heal. So choose optimism and make the magic real. Visit lifeisgood.com.
Elizabeth Riley has your Act Locally news coming right up. And be sure to like and subscribe to The Ann Harder Show. Stay with us.
Escape into fitness with the Schwinn IC4 bike, providing a premium, heart-pumping indoor cycling experience that combines digital connectivity with superior Schwinn quality. The IC4's smooth, quiet ride features magnetic resistance with 100 micro-adjustable resistance levels. Escape the everyday with the Schwinn IC4 bike, your ticket to a life well lived.
I wanted to share a secret. I travel internationally every year. I struggle with insomnia both at home and especially in hotels. When I saw something called Fly Kit, what it promotes is there are herbal supplements to take that help you get your circadian rhythm reset into a new time zone. This was life-changing. It's called Fly Kit. I got 2 programs of it. My favorite aspect of the Fly Kit is it tells you when to sleep.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. With our feature called Popple Direct, you can pop one of your links directly. I turned Direct on for Instagram. Now when I pop someone's phone, it opens directly to my Instagram. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
Fabled Bookshop is celebrating 6 years with a practically perfect weekend of events. There is musical theater trivia night on the 22nd and a Mary Poppins story time on the 23rd, with themed giveaways, kite crafts, and festive drinks you do not want to miss this weekend at Fabled. Waco ISD and Brook Avenue Elementary School are hosting monthly food distribution events starting on August 22nd. Whether you're a student, a family member, a staff member, or just a neighbor, bring a valid ID to 720 Brook Avenue to get a free box of essential groceries. Waco ISD and Brook Avenue Elementary School are committed to reducing food insecurity in Waco, and Act Locally Waco is proud to witness their community outreach. Meals on Wheels is still hosting their pet food drive with the Woodway Family Center to support our pet-owning senior neighbors who are especially in need of cat food and small dog food. Drop off donations from now until early September at the Woodway Family Center. When you make a donation, be sure to fill out the raffle form for a chance to win a gift card to a local restaurant. I'm Elizabeth Riley with your Act Locally News, and I will see you next time.
I'm sitting over here at the Neon Buffalo and drinking about 15 beers. I think I'll have a shot and then I think I'll have another as long as I don't fall out of my chair. It's time for Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb shot. Then I'll Uber on home, ride past the cops, sleep in the back till I'm on my block, crawl into bed and rest for a bit, wake up and do it all over again. I'm gonna find me a bar with an adjective, an animal, and belly up to my stool. Drink me something drinkable and dance me something danceable and dance around like a fool. It's time for a line dance, Macarena, Copperhead Road, tequila shot, Cupid shuffle, stop, and then I'll Uber on home, ride past the cops, sleep in the back till I'm on my block, crawl into bed, rest for a bit, wake up and do it all over again. I'm gonna head on down to the Guadalupe and float all day with my friends. I'm gonna be out here all day till Sunday. It's time for a Sunday fun day, Sunday fun day, Sunday fun day. Gonna Uber on home, ride past the cops, sleep in the back till I'm on my block, crawl into bed, rest for a bit, wake up and do it all over again. And then when I get out of the water, I'm gonna pray for my aching head. And then I'll Uber on home, ride past the cops, sleep in the back till I'm on my block, crawl into bed, rest for a bit, and wake up and do it all over again. Saw you leaning on a memory with your back turned towards the crowd of that little bar on Murphy where we play guitar too loud. There were people drinking whiskey, there were hearts about to leave. It was cold for Houston, it was almost New Year's Eve. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. Cannot wait to see you, babe, I cannot understand. Well, I walked the road to get here with a guitar and a case. If I'd been in Pasadena, I'd known about this place. Well, you look like forever where the water meets the shore. Babe, I can't do this, I can't do this anymore. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. All the way from Beaumont with a white rose in my hand. Can not wait forever, babe, but I hope you understand.
Thanks for being with us today. Join me tomorrow when we hear from Elmer Spates at Veterans One Stop on the great work they're doing for our vets and how you can help. Have a great afternoon.